Hello everyone, my name is Mabel Mary Lincoy, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, USTM. So in this presentation, I will be presenting the topic endocrine system. So now we will see what is endocrine system. So endocrine system, this system, it interacts with the nervous system to coordinate and integrate the body activities by means of the hormones. And these hormones are nothing but these are the chemical messengers which are produced by the body into the fluids such as the blood and also the limbs, which exert their respective functions. So endocrine tissues and organs, they secrete hormones into the body fluids, mainly the blood and the lymph, like I said, directly by using diffusion. So exocrine tissues such as the salivary gland and sebaceous glands, they secrete chemical messengers into the ducts, through the ducts into the open spaces. Then the 5 major functions of hormones. So these hormones, they perform or they execute their respective functions. So we will see what are the 5 major functions of the hormones. First is they regulate the metabolic process, example like thyroid hormones. So metabolic process is nothing but it's a process of metabolism where most of the toxic substances that are taken into the body are getting metabolized and are getting removed from our body system. Next is control the rate of chemical reactions. So a lot of chemical reaction is taking place in our body during various process since childhood till the adulthood. So example like growth hormones. So growth hormones is one of the hormones which is responsible for the proper growth and development of a human being, of a person. So next one is it aids in the transport of substances across the cell membranes of the target cell, example like insulin and glucagon. So these hormones also help in the transport of substances across the cell membrane. Then it regulates water and electrolyte balance, example antidiuretic hormone, calcitonin and aldosterone. So since the body needs this water and electrolytes in our body, so balancing of water and electrolyte is very important in our body, and this can be done through the help of hormones. Then it also play a vital role in reproduction, growth and development, example like estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. So these hormones, they helps in the development of our sexual organs and also in the growth and development of a sexual or a reproductive organs. Next we will see, so these are the 5 major organs which are included in the endocrine system, that is consists of the pineal glands, pituitary glands, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, ovary and the testes. So these are the glands or these are the organs which produces various hormones. So the major endocrine glands and hormones. So first we will see the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland, it is attached to the hypothalamus by infundibulum. It is divided into 2 parts, that is anterior lobe and posterior lobe. Anterior lobe also known as adenohypophysis and posterior lobe also known as neurohypophysis. Anterior lobe is about 3 times larger than the posterior lobe. So we'll see first we will see anterior lobe. So anterior pituitary is under hormonal control by the hypothalamus. So this anterior pituitary gland is mainly controlled by the hypothalamus, where the blood vessels transport the releasing hormones to the anterior lobe. Anterior pituitary, it contains 5 types of glandular cells. That means under anterior pituitary glands there are 5 types of glands which produces various other types of hormones. We will see, one is somatotropes which produce the growth hormones, then lactotropes which produces prolactin releasing hormones, corticotropes which produces the ACTH and MSH, that is melatonin stimulating hormones, then thyrotropes which produces the thyroid stimulating hormones, gonadotropes which produces the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormones. So anterior pituitary glands, it contains or it consists of 7 hormones. Now we will see what are those hormones. First is the growth hormones, which is important. The functions of growth hormones is important for normal growth and development of all body cells, especially muscles and the bone cells. Now we will see next one is thyroid stimulating hormones. So thyroid stimulating hormones, the main function, it stimulates the thyroid glands to secrete the thyroid hormones. Then adrenocorticotropic hormones. Adrenocorticotropic hormones, they stimulate the adrenal cortex to secrete mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids and gonadocorticoids. Then these hormones that is produced by the adrenocorticotropic hormones, they are usually helps in regulating the various functions relating to the body. Then follicle stimulating hormones, it stimulates the production of egg cells and sperms in the gonads. Example like the egg cells and sperm cells which are present in female and male. So in female, which is produced by the ovary, and which is in male, which is produced by the testes. Next is luteinizing hormones. Luteinizing hormones triggers the ovulation and stimulates the production of estrogens and progesterone in the female, and it promotes testosterone productions in the male. Then prolactin or lactogenic hormones. These hormones, they stimulate the milk production in the mammary glands, especially after labor or after giving birth. These hormones, they stimulate the milk productions in a breastfeeding mother. Then melanocyte stimulating hormones, which stimulates the melanocyte in the epidermis and hair follicles to release melanin pigments. Melanin pigments is nothing but is the pigment which gives color to our skin. So next we'll see the hormones of the posterior pituitary glands, which consist of oxytocin and antidiuretic hormones. So oxytocin, it stimulates the uterine contraction during the childbirth process, and it also activates the milk ejection from the mammary glands. So this oxytocin is one of the important hormones during the process of giving birth and also during the process of milk secretion. Then antidiuretic hormones, these hormones, they stimulate water reabsorption in the kidney tubules. So in the absence of antidiuretic hormones, the water reabsorptions and reabsorption of all the electrolytes will not be possible or will not be happening. Next is the thyroid hormones. We will see thyroid hormones is located in the larynx, also called as the voice box, and attached to the trachea and divided into 2 lateral lobes. So thyroid follicle utilizes iodine and synthesizes thyroglobulin to be stored in the colloids. So upon stimulation of thyroid stimulating hormones, thyroglobulin is converted into 2 hormones, that is triiodothyronine and thyroxine, to promote normal metabolism. It also secretes calcitonin to lower the blood calcium and phosphate levels and regulate the digestive hormones. So this is the diagram of how a thyroid gland looks like. Next, parathyroid glands. So parathyroid glands, it consists of 4 oval shaped glands embedded in the posterior surface of the thyroid glands. So these parathyroid glands, they are present together with the thyroid gland. So parathyroid glands, it secretes only one protein hormones called as the parathyroid hormones or parathormones to raise the blood calcium level and lower the blood phosphate levels. Next is adrenal gland. So adrenal glands, again these glands is divided into 2 parts, that is adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. First we will see what is adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex, which is the outer portion of the adrenal gland, which is attached to the superior surface of the kidney. So this adrenal gland is divided into 3 regions from outside to inside. Okay, first is the zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculate and zona reticularis. So this secretes over 30 steroid-based substances and several steroid hormones, all crucial for the normal homeostasis. So zona glomerulosa, they secretes mineralocorticoids, which helps to regulate the level of minerals such as potassium, sodium and magnesium. Then aldosterone is one of the most important hormones in this group, where it raises the blood levels of sodium and water and lowers the blood potassium levels. Next, we'll see the zona fasciculate, they secrete glucocorticoids, which affects the glucose or carbohydrate metabolism. Cortisol is one of the most important hormones in this group, which is where it is involved in carbohydrate, lipids and protein metabolism, and also it helps to fight stress and inflammation. Then zona reticularis, they secretes gonadocorticoids, which supplement the sex hormones from the testes and ovaries, and they stimulate early development of reproductive organs. So these hormones are male types, that is adrenal androgens, namely testosterone, but it can be converted into a female type such as estrogen by the skin, liver and also the adipose tissue. Next, we'll see the adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla, it is a inner portion of the adrenal gland. So it is made of modified nerve tissue that is under direct regulation of sympathetic nervous system of the autonomic nervous system, that is the sympathetic nerves of the autonomic nervous system. It contains glandular cells called chromaffin cells, which secrete two closely related hormones, that is epinephrine or also called as adrenaline and norepinephrine or noradrenaline. So the effects of these hormones resemble sympathetic stimulation, where body activities such as the cardiac actions, the blood pressure and breathing rate are increased while the digestive process are decreased. So the main functions of these hormones, that is epinephrine and norepinephrine, is to regulate the cardiac actions, the blood pressure and the breathing rate, while the other process are decreased. The next organ is the pancreas. So the only gland that is both exocrine and endocrine in physiology is the pancreas, where it releases both hormones and also it releases bile. It is in its exocrine aspect, which is 99% of its mass, is composed of cell called acini, which secrete the digestive enzymes and fluids into the small intestine through the pancreatic ducts. Then it is in its endocrine aspect, 1% of its mass is little groups of cells called as islets of Langerhans or pancreatic islets, which secrete hormones to regulate the blood glucose level. So in each pancreatic islet, alpha cells secrete glucagons to raise the blood glucose level, and the beta cells secrete insulin to lower the blood glucose level. So pancreas is the only organs which are both endocrine and exocrine in nature. Endocrine, since it produces the hormones such as glucagons and insulin, which regulates the blood glucose level, and exocrine, where it produces the digestive hormones which helps in the process of digestion. Next one we will see ovary. So ovary is a female sex organs and also serve as an endocrine gland. It contains follicular cells in its secondary and matured follicles, where they secrete estrogens to develop and maintain female sexual characteristic, to regulate ovarian and menstrual cycle, to maintain pregnancy and to develop secondary sexual characters. Then further, it also contains degenerating scar tissue called as corpus luteum, which contains lutein cells that secrete progesterone to help maintain ovarian and menstrual cycles and also pregnancy. So estrogen and progesterone, these are the two main hormones which are produced by the ovary, and these hormones, they are necessary for the development and also for the functions of a sexual characteristic in a female. Then testis. Testis is a male sex organs and also serve as endocrine glands. They contain interstitial cells, or also called as Leydig cells, that secrete testosterone to develop secondary sexual characteristics. So in a male, testosterone is the main hormones which regulates the sexual characteristics in the male. Then pineal gland. Pineal gland is a pine cone shape which is located very deep into the cerebrum. They secrete melatonin to regulate circadian rhythms which are necessary to keep track of the day and the night cycle, sleep and wake cycle, rhythm, menstrual and ovarian cycle. So pineal gland, it acts as a natural clock which regulates or which keep tracks of the time, where in a person where the day and night cycle has been monitored, and also the various cycles which takes place in the body is regulated by the pineal gland. The next gland is the thymus gland. So thymus gland, it is a diminishing gland located between the lungs, secretes a group of hormones called as thymosin. So the functions of these thymosin is production and maturation of lymphocytes in the body defense. These lymphocytes, these are nothing but these are the cells which fights against any foreign substances that are likely to cause an infection in our body. So these hormones, that is this thymosin, they helps in the production and also in the maturation of these lymphocytes, which act as a body defense mechanisms. So till here is the end of our topic. I hope you all have understood. Thank you so much.